we've made 4 significant zones of mineralization, in a year and a half. And do we think there are more there? Yes, of course we do. So we just, we just need to get at it.
Well, hello viewers, and welcome to another Assay TV edition. Today I'm delighted to be joined by Tim Froude, who is the Director, President, and CEO of Sokoman Minerals Corp. Sokoman Minerals is a junior exploration stage company with a strategic group of gold properties located in central Newfoundland. Tim, warm welcome to you.
Well, thanks for having me. Great opportunity. I'm looking forward to basically filling everybody in on how things are going down here.
Yeah, I'm excited to be hearing about the projects and the company, but why don't we start off with that? Give us a snapshot of the company, please.
Well, we're based here in the province of Newfoundland and Labrador, and our flagship projects, all of our projects for that matter, are on the island. So, we're able to strategically attack those without, severe logistical problems, without, having to use helicopters or things like that. Our main project is 4 hours drive west of where I'm sitting right now. I'm just outside St. John's. The project is in central Newfoundland. Moosehead is the name, and it's targeting high-grade, orogenic Fosterville type gold deposits. And for folks not familiar with Fosterville, Fosterville is a very prolific and very high-grade gold mine in Victoria, Australia, run by Kirkland Lake Gold. And we see very strong similarities geologically, geochemically, structurally between the mineralization at Moosehead in particular and Fosterville. So we're partway through our 6th phase of drilling. We have a 50,000 meter program that's fully funded. We're about 25% of the way through that. We're on spring break now, sort of thing, for the roads are soft, but we should be back up and drilling at Moosehead within a week or two. With a couple more rigs added to total 4 at some point this summer. We should be a very robust newsmaker moving forward, which is always exciting for shareholders.
Yep, excellent. Thank you for the rundown. Well, let's hone in on Moosehead a little bit. More specifically there, it's your flagship project, as you said. You've done a limited bit of drilling, but you've had some great results so far. Could you talk us through those?
Well, we've discovered, since acquiring the property, Adam, in mid to late 2018, we've discovered 4 new zones of very high-grade gold mineralization that all are open for expansion. In about 35,000 meters of drilling we've completed so far in about 170 holes, widespread over about 2 kilometers of strike length on this major structure that extends all the way through the entire island of Newfoundland, for that matter, and actually passes through the heart of Newfoundland's currently largest gold deposit at Valentine Lake, operated by Marathon Gold. And we've every phase we've managed to pull some very, very impressive results, generally in the ounce to 2 ounce ranges over multiple meters. And that's what caught the eye of our largest shareholder back in 2018, Mr. Eric Sprott, who jumped on us and basically has been, a very strong supporter. He still is our largest shareholder and is continuing to support us through recent financings. And as I mentioned, we're well funded. We have almost $10 million in the treasury right now, and with the current budget of that, we should be able to complete 50,000 meters and still have some gas left in the tank to focus on some of our other projects as well that we'll talk about shortly.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll come on to those in a sec. But just for the sort of spring-summer drill program, how are you looking to advance that with Moosehead going forward?
Well, 2 of our highlight areas include what we term the footwall splay, which is an offshoot off of the main eastern trend. The main eastern trend is the largest known zone of gold mineralization on the property. It's been defined now over about a 500 meter strike length, down to about 200 to 250 meters vertically, and remains open. And there may be links between it and the western trend, which is the historical resource, not a resource, sorry, it's a historical zone of mineralization that we inherited with the project. But other target areas like South Pond, we will be basically, we have 2 rigs sitting now, ready to go. One will resume drilling at South Pond, where we've announced a new zone. We don't know a lot about it yet. We just have a couple of holes in it, and we're quite excited about that. We should have some assays out on that in a week or two. And as well, the footwall splay, which is just turning into this very surprising gem, very close to surface, like 30 meters vertically, with some really fantastic results. I think one of our more recent holes was almost 5 meters of about 47 grams, which is really superior grades. And so those 2. We're also looking at getting a 3rd rig very early in June to start testing more outside targets. And we've been talking about that for a while, but right now I think it was important that the company focus on defining these still open, high-grade trends that are very shallow. And with the 3rd rig, we'll now more comfortably be able to address some of the more regional targets. And then the 4th drill, when that arrives, will be a barge-based program. The upper part of the eastern or the main eastern trend, as well as the footwall splay, all sit near the edge of a small body of water, a pond. That's kind of difficult to drill properly from dry land. So we did have a couple of brief periods of drilling from the surface of the ice, which were successful. But we're going to go and push forward now that we have the treasury to get a barge and basically attack these 2 zones from a more proper angle. And I think that will be very exciting. And I look forward to that. That will most likely be later in the summer before we get everything permitted, the barge fitted out and things like that. Not to mention finding, drillers for the 4th drill, which are pretty rare commodity these days. But yeah, it's going to be just a very exciting summer for us. And the market is really starting to catch fire. Our share price has improved tremendously in the past month or 2. Probably not where we'd like it to be, or at least we feel. We still feel like we're somewhat undervalued compared to our peers here operating. But if we have to, we'll drill our way out of it, as they say. So, nothing better than a good drill hole, they say. But yeah, so we're quite excited about 2021, Adam.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds like you've got lots coming up, and the drilling work will do the talking. But the market sort of corrected a little bit at the beginning of this year, and it seems to be a really good-looking sector for the months ahead, and certainly with a very strong gold price despite coming down from last year. So the factors and the elements are in your favor in that respect. I just wanted to touch on some of the other attributes that investors should perhaps be aware of the project itself, rather than just the drill results, because obviously, you're in a tier 1 mining jurisdiction. Tell us about some of the other attributes of being there in Newfoundland.
Well, we have a very supportive government here. In fact, every year that we've been active on this project, we've received, a portion of our exploration expenditures back to us in terms of non-refundable or non-repayable grants, which are great because, those are hard dollars that we immediately reinvest. Plus, the project is logistically, it's a dream. It sits on the Trans-Canada Highway, the major highway through the province. It has seen 20 years off and on of sporadic exploration activity, which means we have access to those drill roads and exploration trails that preceded us. And as well, it was logged off. So, the cutting of trees is not an issue. We're not, there are no, land claims issues. We sit an hour's drive from the home base of the drilling company, as well as the assay lab that we're using. So, logistically, we explore as cheaply as any jurisdiction, in the country, which is good for shareholders because their money goes a long way here. We have about 8 kilometers of strike length of the main shear zone that cuts through, as I mentioned earlier, down through to our largest gold deposit in Newfoundland, the Valentine Lake deposits. So we know there's potential, from border to border on our project. So We really only explored about 25 to 30% of the strike length of this property, Adam, and we look forward to, with the third drill, the rover, we're going to call it, and testing some of these other ones, because like I said, we've made 4 significant zones of mineralization, in a year and a half. And do we think there are more there? Yes, of course we do. So we just need to get at it.
Yep, certainly. And thinking about your other assets, the Fleur de Lis project, particularly of note. Have you got some works coming up there that are worth bringing up for investors who are interested?
Yes, thanks for bringing that up. Fleur de Lis may be new to, especially to newer shareholders or potential shareholders in Sokoman. It's targeting high-grade gold mineralization, very similar to actually deposits that sit over on your side of the pond, as we call it, the Atlantic. Adam, Kernalt and Conanish and Kavanagh are all significant gold deposits. In fact, Kernalt sits at about 6 million ounces in Northern Ireland that sit in rocks that are the catchword that geologists use for this group of rocks is the Dalradian. That's basically the geological formation. The area where we have our Fleur de Lis project is underlain by the extension of those same Dalradian rock sequences here in Newfoundland, because we were practically joined at one point, and certainly these structures, they don't stop at water boundaries. They keep going because they're crustal things, right? So the Fleur de Lis project has many attributes in kind with the Dalradian in the UK, and we've basically taken over 1,800 claims, and that translates to over 450 square kilometers of ground that had really not a lot of work on it, even though the area we're on the Bay Verte Peninsula is actually where all of Newfoundland's current gold production is coming from. So it's a bit of an enigma, but it just flew under the radar for so long. And we know there's gold showings on the ground that just haven't been tested. So wow. Golden opportunity. It's a district scale project, so it's very significant. And yes, we will be starting work there next month. We're going to basically do a wall-to-wall not a basal till, but a sea horizon till, and that's the upper layer of the glacial till. That seems to work very well here in this jurisdiction in Newfoundland for identifying gold targets. Basically, we collect these tills, pan them down or sluice them down, and gather up the gold grains that we find. We don't do that, but the lab does, and they tell us how close or how far we are from a potential source based on the shape and character of these gold grains. So we're going to start that. It's going to cost probably $300,000 to $400,000, but our current treasury can absorb that, and that'll all be done by other individuals. So the Moosehead team will not be distracted. That is still our flagship and will remain our flagship. But we are very cautiously optimistic about that opportunity at Fleur de Lis.
Absolutely. It sounds a very exciting prospect there. So just touching on the company financials then for investors looking at the company overall, you mentioned Eric Sprott's on the register. This is it's great having someone of his reputation and ability to spot quality companies involved. How's the relationship been with investors and institutionals so far?
Well, I think obviously having Eric as our lead shareholder is very important. He's a very important individual in this business, and he certainly has an eye for opportunities and a good eye. So, we appreciate that he's here and has supported us over the past 2 years through multiple financing. So, as I mentioned, we currently have around 9 million in the bank, and with previously issued warrants, obviously well in the money based on the rise of the share price lately. We're expecting, a number of them. I wouldn't say all of them, but we are expecting a fair number of them to be exercised, which could actually bring our treasury up to the $10 to $12 million range, even further bolstering our ability to move projects forward and acquire other opportunities, which we are looking at. And in fact, we may have some news coming out on that, to maybe letting the cat out of the bag, but we have been active, and we have acquired some additional opportunities here in Newfoundland, and we will be talking about them later. So yeah, we're well funded. Logistically, the projects are very easily worked, And I think our opportunity to find more, gold is quite high.
Excellent. Yes, certainly. And it's look forward to hearing a little bit more about those new acquisitions that you mentioned further down the line when we get the opportunity to talk again. So, Tim, thanks very much. Sounds like you're going to be very busy over the coming months with executing on these drill programs and running the new projects. And thanks very much for the insight on Sokoman today.
It's been a pleasure, Adam. Thank you very much. I look forward to our next opportunity to talk to you, and hopefully with some better news than what we've talked about today as we move forward. Thank you again.
Thank you, Tim.